What's in a name? Everything. Hi, and welcome back to my channel, China Hand, where I analyze China from a spiritual perspective. Today, I would like to wish everyone a very happy July 4th Independence Day. I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. Thomas Jefferson. Today, this transmission will be more of a reflection, being grateful for the freedoms we have as American citizens, being grateful to be a citizen of the most powerful military nation on the planet. Reflecting on the benefits of being an American and not being born in some third world backwater country. I would like to first commemorate three individuals, giants. The first, Woody Williams, the last Medal of Honor recipient who stormed the beaches of the heavily fortified Japanese island Iwo Jima, a Marine veteran who passed away recently. I would just like to say thank you, Leatherneck, for your service. Without your sacrifice, perhaps we would be speaking German and Japanese, or we wouldn't even be here at all. The second is a 100-year-old Marine World War II veteran, Carl Deckel. Marine Deckel, he touched me in a very special way because listening to his interview, I felt that he sacrificed so much in vain. And the world that he envisioned after World War II is not the world he is still living his last days out on. It's very sad. And the last is the renowned Dr. Vladimir Zelenko, who stepped to the forefront, rejecting that poisonous CCP vaccine mandate and introducing highly effective treatments to treat that disgusting demonic virus. He recently passed away suddenly of cancer. This solemn holiday, these three brave men moved me in different intertwining ways that I'll comment on briefly. First, bravery. Woody Williams, during his interview that I listened to, he was asked about bravery. Weren't you afraid storming the beaches of Iwo Jima where so many young men, before they even took their first 2 steps on the beach or shot their first volley of bullets against the Japanese enemies, they were cut down. So he was asked about him being afraid, and he was talking about how he wasn't afraid, and there are times that you just have to be brave, because if you're fearful, then you will not be able to operate efficiently and complete your mission. Marine Carl Deckel. I feel like he sacrificed so much, and the world that he's currently living in is not living up to his expectations, and that's hurtful, because there are people like myself and others that try as much as lies within us to live up to those expectations. And sometimes I feel like our generation has let their generation down. Gentlemen, Semper Fi. Hoorah. Vladimir Zelenko, Dr. Zelenko, I've listened to several of his interviews recently. And the most important thing that I could have gotten out of his last few interviews before he passed away, the Marines, they speak about bravery and duty. But Dr. Zelenko, he left a lasting impression on me in one of his last interviews before he passed away. And he said, even when the sword is on your neck, you should never give up hope. Moving. And that it's time for some of us to step up our game in this war, this spiritual war, because it is a war, and it's a spiritual war. It's time for some of us to step up our game and step to the forefront. He said that he was happy and willing to die on his hill because he knew what he was doing was the right thing, and he had a blessed expectation of life eternal in the next world. So I just wanted to commemorate these three men during this 4th of July, because, as I said before in one of my previous transmissions, the price of freedom, true freedom, is eternal vigilance. We must stay vigilant. We are living in apocalyptic end times. Unprecedented. You just look around and you see the ridiculous weather patterns all over the world. I'm a China watcher. I'm a China hand. So my focus, my expertise, based on my experience, is China. But you just look around the world, about every single country you could think of, they're experiencing some kind of abnormal weather patterns. You look at the governments, they're in turmoil, inflation, war, rumors of wars, earthquakes in various places. You have monkeypox, the CCP virus. You have famine, you have pestilence. You have all the makings of Matthew chapter 24. Jesus talking about right up until he returns, what kind of world we're going to be living in. We're living in it. We're living in it. This is 4 horsemen apocalyptic revelation. And we need to redeem the time, for the days are so evil. 2024 is going to be like no other election I know, I know. I said that I would just focus on China, but please, this is a special occasion. It's Independence Day. So I just want to reflect on where we've come from as Americans, where we are, and where we're going. Because change is the law of life. Those who only look to the past or the present are certain to miss the future. So 2024 and what is to come. I remember when President Trump ran in 2016, and when he won, I mean, could you see the Trump derangement syndrome affecting these demonic Democrats and people that opposed President Trump becoming president? I mean, it was ridiculous, and I still remember it. And I think that if it was like that then, can you imagine what it's going to be like in 2024? It's going to be even more crazy. So we need to harden up. We need to harden up. And those winter soldiers, they get it. They got to get ready. Those spiritual winter soldiers as well. They got to get ready, because we're truly living in some unprecedented times. Things are going to happen that we've never expected to happen. You have meteors expected to pass by or impact Earth in 2029. Apophis, Apollo, the so-called meteor, is supposed to impact the Earth or pass by the Earth in 2029. Is that the fulfillment of biblical prophecy? It's left to be seen. You're talking about hearing on the news more and more Pentagon, quote unquote, alien disclosure. All of these things are connected. And I want to talk briefly on something that I've been thinking about recently with the Hunter Biden emails and this bloodsucker and thief in the White House. I believe that there are still emails out there. People are in possession of them. And I was looking into a gentleman by the name of Jack Maxey and how he had to flee to Switzerland, or wherever he is now, I don't know, because he was still in possession of some of these emails from the laptop from hell, Hunter Biden's laptop. I honestly believe, I don't have all the evidence to prove it from what I've researched, but I believe that there are people like Jack Maxey, who is an associate of Steve Bannon. I believe this brave patriot is in possession of incriminating, compromising information. And every time he tries to put it out there, whether it's online or however he tries to disseminate it, which is the fastest way to do it, the powers that be have highly sophisticated software that could scrub that information off the web in minutes. Just like there's some kind of software, and I'm sure that the United States gave it to China, that when Chinese people post things online that is contrary to the CCP's script, contrary to what they believe, contrary to the propaganda that they vomit out to the people, they can delete, disappear that information in minutes. So I think that they got a watered down version of that technology from the United States. And I believe that these dark, evil intelligence agencies have software that is almost like a demonic magic. I'm not saying it's magic, but It's like the science is so sophisticated, it's like demonic magic, where they can do things with technology that for the ignorant and uninitiated, it would look like magic. So scrubbing information that's posted from anywhere on the planet to protect these traitors, these simps, these CCP shills, they do that. And they've done that to Jack Maxey on several occasions. So it would be difficult for him to, in mass, disseminate that information that he has. But it'll probably trickle out from now until 2024. And I also believe that Rudy Giuliani, New York's mayor, is sitting on some incriminating information, and he's been threatened already. But he's a brave old man, and he said he has nothing really to lose. And the state of the republic right now is such that, like Dr. Zelenko said, people need to step up their game, myself included. We need to step up our game. Whatever skill set we have, we need to turn that thing up full blast and use it to beat back this evil, beat back this darkness. I have some comments that I would like to express about Rudy Giuliani. I have a lot of respect for him, Mayor Giuliani, a lot of respect. But I think that during his time as mayor, especially when 9/11 occurred, there may have been information that he was privy to with regards to certain buildings not falling when they were clearly affected by the plane crashes into the Twin Towers. Certain buildings didn't fall right away. And then suddenly, after 30 minutes, an hour, these buildings suddenly fall. And they fall the way that charged explosives were set inside the buildings. And I believe that he changed his story a couple times because I heard it. I was in New York at the time that this happened. And I heard what he said. And I heard how he changed his story. And I heard what President Trump said. And President Trump, he has a background in real estate and building. And I believe that they know that those buildings were charged with explosive detonators. I believe that they know that. And they've never come clean about that. They've never come clean about that. But Giuliani, he's getting older. And maybe he has a lot of skeletons and demons in his closet. When he was younger, the deep state used to control him or compromise him. Because most people, I'm not saying all, most people that get to the level of government and power that they get to, they all have skeletons in their closets. They all have skeletons in their closets. And I believe that he kept quiet, and he's probably still keeping quiet for the sake of his family, mostly, not himself, for the sake of his children, mostly. But there comes a time when you have to just do what's right. And I think he has to come to grips with that. He has to come to grips with how that information that he has in his possession is going to be used to help another Donald Trump election win, or probably DeSantis, governor of Florida, or somebody with those moral abilities that will do what needs to be done in a godly way for this country, because our country is slowly dying, and I likened it to a termite infestation. The foundation is slowly being eaten away. The walls are slowly being eaten away. And once this foundation is gone and the walls are eaten away, then you know the house is going to collapse on itself. So I don't want to make this too long. I just wanted to bring those reflections to the forefront and tell me what you think about what I just said. Please comment, like, subscribe, share this information, talk about it. Redeem the time, for the days are evil, Jesus said. And when we see these things happening, all of these things that are happening in the world today, unprecedented things, Jesus said we are to lift up our heads because our redemption draweth nigh. I'm going to close with some information about what's going on over there in China. I believe that this pandemic also plays a major role in the end times. The Bible says that there's a nation, a very populous nation in the book of Revelation in the east, that is going to march. They're going to gather their army for war on that day. And the population of that army is probably China. If it's not China, it's some kind of coalition, because it says the armies of the East. It's some kind of coalition with China and probably Iran, because Iran in ancient texts is also referred to as the Orient, the Far East. So everything that's happening over in China now with this CCP virus and controlling the masses and preparing them for accepting the mark of the beast, it's all happening right now in front of our faces. These people have no Second Amendment or First Amendment to help them organize and protect themselves. So we need to be grateful for what our founding forefathers, they pledged their lives, their fortunes, their family, and their sacred honor, so we could have what we have today, so we don't have to live like how they live over there in China. China is the petri dish. It's the template for what's going to happen in the last days. And all of this AI technology that this country has given to China, they're using it, they're implementing it right now with the bank runs, with the surveillance, with forcing people to take these gene therapy shots that are changing, altering their DNA into transhuman whatever they're going to be in the end, but not human. All of this is happening right now, and we need to be aware of it. Thanks for listening. God bless, and be well. Be safe during this Independence Day, and reflect on the freedoms and the people like those two Marines and what they sacrificed so we could have what we have today. This is Chinahan. Wait for my next transmission. God bless and be well.